I'm a Pornstar, Gay4Pay is a documentary that looks at the controversial / at the very least topical discussion around straight men who perform in gay porn, which isn't something I realized was a conversational or potentially even controversial issue. And I think what it did, the documentary, is that it looked at four groups of people. It spoke to gay porn stars in gay porn about their experiences with gay porn stars and straight porn stars. It spoke to straight porn stars in the gay industry and their experiences. It spoke to people who made gay porn and their experiences with both. And it spoke to general members of the public as well to kind of gauge their perception. And what it did was it looked at two porn star stories in particular, both of whom were straight, but one who was very much aware of the fact that he wasn't entirely straight, and very open to the idea that after gay porn he would continue to have sexual relations with other men. And it also looked at someone who, whilst in gay porn, was straight and very adamant that they were still straight, and very adamant that there was no physical, mental, spiritual, any type of attraction between them. It was purely a job, it was purely for the money. And then it threw a whole lot of... and those were two really interesting stories. It was really interesting to see them because we got to see them from kind of beginning to end. And we got to see... So we got to know the person, and that's what I like about documentaries. In the interim, in the middle of those two stories, we kind of had a whole lot of people who were kind of a bit more in the grey. And instead of seeing each one at a time, what happened was we were shown bits and pieces here and there. So this question, I think there were like another 5 or 6 other guys that were interviewed. What's your take on this? What's your take on this issue? Why do you do it? Are you attracted to men? Why do you consider yourself straight? Whilst the answers to all of those were really interesting, the stories didn't come across for me as strongly as the other two stories because they were kind of peppered in here and there, and because we never really, it was quite difficult to follow the jump back and forth between everybody. Asking the street sort of questionnaire, asking the general populace was interesting, but kind of felt a bit redundant when not everyone who was being asked were consumers of gay pornography. You know, I mean, you're not going to... Someone who hasn't engaged with this industry and someone who isn't a consumer of it, or is at least not involved in some way, isn't going to have an opinion on this. So, and that's kind of what came across in some of the interviews. Some people were gay, and so their insights were quite interesting, and I think added a bit more. But one of my criticisms would have been like some of the people who didn't know what they were talking about just moved to the side. But overall, a really interesting discussion. I would have really liked it to go on deeper. Maybe not focus on so many people, but focus on issues rather than trying to fit in as many people as possible into this discussion. I think could be something that this documentary could have benefited from. But ultimately a really interesting documentary about something that I hadn't expected I would ever know or learn about, which is the point, really, to grow and to learn. So that was a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm Matthew, and this has been the Critics' Review of I'm a Pornstar, Gay4Pay at the Durban Gay and Lesbian Film Festival 2016.